guys, it's Diane, and this evening I am going to share with you how it is I fast on the weekends and how we sort of coordinate fasting on the weekends with our intermittent fasting schedule. So if you are new, welcome. My name is Diane, and for the past 25 years I have been helping women find nutrition programs and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best and live their most authentic life. So welcome. For me, the last couple of years, intermittent fasting has been that thing that I have turned to really sort of heal my body from within and balance out my hormones and sort of adjust to what was happening to my body because of some insulin resistance issues and some pre-diabetic conditions that I was facing, and sort of those feelings and symptoms that you get when your thyroid starts to sort of go astray on you as you start to hit that like mid-40 age range. And so intermittent fasting was really that thing that kind of turned everything around for me, and it's really helping me maintain the look and feel that I want to have as I'm going into my 50s. And so I'm going to share a little bit with you right now what we do on the weekends. That seems to be a really like consistent question that I get from women who are either considering intermittent fasting or who have been intermittent fasting and are not seeing the results and are feeling like intermittent fasting doesn't work for them. And so the best advice I can give if you are a woman who is trying intermittent fasting and you feel like you're not getting the results that you want, that you really want to consider what you're doing in your fasting window and kind of some of the habits that you have while you're in your eating window, and making sure that if you are fasting that you have created a protocol that works for you and your lifestyle so that you don't feel like you're, constantly sort of struggling through it or it's not adapting to your lifestyle. And that's exactly what I do for myself on the weekends. If you guys are jumping on and you're new, please make sure you hit that like button, or if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can stay connected and notified when I do these broadcasts or upload some videos. The biggest thing that I'm getting from women and why I want to address this is that whole thing of they've been struggling with intermittent fasting, or they've sort of hit a plateau, or they feel like it's not working for them anymore. And so when that starts to happen and you start to get that feeling, that's when you really have to kind of go back and reevaluate what it is you're doing within your day. And maybe you've kind of fallen off track a little bit and you still think you're fasting, and you might not be. So today, for instance, is a great example of how I could have kind of cheated myself out of a fasting experience when I thought I might have been in a fasting experience. I'm really flexible on the weekends. My fasting and eating window is dependent on my family and what we have scheduled together as a family around eating situations. And so yesterday was a super easy day for me to fast because my daughter plays volleyball. We were up and out of the house really early, so I just had my coffee. I brought a bottle of water with me. We were kind of busy the rest of the day. So I was able to really maintain the fasting schedule that I like to have during the week. And so I fasted until I think 2:30 or 3 yesterday. And it was a Saturday. And then we kind of did our normal business for dinner. Stopped eating at a decent time. I think I had a glass of wine last night with my husband. And then, I just stopped consuming calories when it felt natural to me. Woke up this morning. We were going to go out and have breakfast together as a family, but it ended up being like really stormy and rainy here, so we decided to just stay home. And by the time we got to that point where we decided we wanted to stay home and sort of have a brunch, it was already 1 o'clock. And because I didn't consume any nibbly, unconscious, empty calories between the time I got up and the time we decided to go to have our brunch, because we did have plans to go out to eat breakfast, I was able to maintain my fast from the night before. Now, had I sort of snacked around the house and like mindlessly nibbled on things, or had one of those really Gucci little coffees in the morning with a bunch of like fancy creamers and sugars and stuff in it, then I would have broken my fast and I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of the fast that I started last night or the night before and throughout the morning that we had this morning. So I sort of unconsciously had a really great fasting window just because when I wake up in the morning now, I don't feel hungry. I don't reach for food. It's not a habit that I have anymore from my lifestyle. My habit is to not eat or not consume calories. So super easy for me this morning, even though it's the weekend. And that should be kind of a high stress time for trying to incorporate fasting because you have family and events and all that kind of stuff. So we had breakfast. We had an amazing, huge brunch. We had French toast. We had turkey sausage. We had scrambled eggs with sun-dried tomatoes in them. We had, a nice assortment of berries. We had some strawberries and blackberries and blueberries. And I had an avocado, half an avocado. And some coffee, and I had some carbonated water. So huge, typical brunch type of meal. I was breaking my fast with that, so I wasn't concerned about the caloric intake. I had a nice assortment of proteins, and I had some carbohydrates, and I had some really good healthy fats. I finished my brunch, felt completely satisfied with the food that I have, and I have been fasting ever since. I think we finished brunch at 2. So now it's 9 o'clock. There's no need for me to eat anything at this point. I haven't been hungry all day. I've just been really busy getting some Sunday, errands done that people usually do on Sundays. And so I haven't really thought about food. So there was really no reason to jeopardize a great opportunity to have a really good fasting day for myself. I made dinner for the family. It was super easy. They had some chicken tortilla soup. I had no desire to eat. The big thing that I did that was in my favor this weekend was not having the desire to eat, but I also have trained myself to not just sort of unconsciously eat. So I've had no other calories other than what I had in my brunch this afternoon, and I've had some carbonated water. I've been busy. I haven't been thinking about food, and I haven't done this as I've walked by snacks and stuff in our house. So I am in a completely fasted state. I ended my eating window at 2. I will resume my Monday plan as scheduled, which is usually a 20-hour fast into Monday, but it will probably end up being a 24-hour fast because I will go from brunch to when I break my fast at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So, and I might even go a little bit farther because I usually don't break my fast till the kids get home from school, which is around 3:30 or 4. So I could end up going into like a good 26-hour fast without even consciously trying to do that extended of a fast. I've just created new habits and broke old habits that were causing me issues with thinking I was in a fasted state because I wasn't consciously paying attention to the hand to mouth type of thing that we tend to do if we're bored or preoccupied or just mindlessly wandering around the house. So if you're feeling like you're struggling with intermittent fasting and you have been successful in the past, I would really suggest that you take some time and evaluate how conscious you are around food and how conscious you are within your own day with what kind of habits you have that might be interfering with a true fasted state when you think you are intermittent fasting. Being in that fasted state is crucial. I think being in that fasted state is way more important than what you do in your eating window, because if you're really extending your fast and you're really concentrating on not taking in any calories while you're in your fasting window and you understand what that means and you understand what it feels like to kind of get that fat adaptation cycle going, and you know what it feels like when you're in complete glycogen depletion, and you know what it feels like when you're a fat burning machine, then you should be seeing results, or you should be feeling results. If you're not, then you're probably unconsciously doing something that you're not aware of because you're unconsciously doing it, and it's just a habit that you formed and it's so ingrained in you that you don't even think twice about it. So I would suggest picking a day. Tomorrow would be fantastic, and really making sure that you are alert and aware about everything that you're doing within your day, everything that you're putting in your mouth, everything that you have scheduled. Make a firm commitment, an appointment with yourself with that fasting window, so that if you have a designated time that you are going to fast until before you enter into your eating window, that you are fully aware of what it is that you're doing during that time and making sure that you are not taking in any calories that might sabotage that whole glycogen burn and fat burning stage that you're trying to actually create for yourself. So I've had a great day. I had a great day yesterday. I had a great weekend. I didn't skip a beat. I had plenty of, social time with my family. I went about my business and did all the things I usually do on the weekends. Had a glass of wine with my husband, have no regrets about it. Don't feel bad about it. And tomorrow will be an amazing day because I will wake up feeling super refreshed. My mind will be clear because I had a great fast today. I'm going to sleep well tonight. There'll be no glycogen that has to be burned while I'm sleeping. So that means I'll be in full fat burning mode while I'm sleeping. And who doesn't like that? And I will have an amazing opportunity for those growth hormones to be at their peak level and doing what they need to do to repair my body and create that lean muscle mass and do all the things that I needed to do for my metabolism and my hormone balance and my insulin and all that stuff that I needed to do. It will be working in supercharged mode for me tonight because of what I was able to accomplish today. And it's just because I was very conscious and aware of the habits that I have in my lifestyle now and making sure that what I'm doing throughout my day actually is geared to the goals that I have for my health and my body and the way that I look and feel. So if you're struggling, I would strongly suggest checking in with yourself and making sure that you're not kind of falling into some old habits. Restructure your goals, restructure your plan, make a list for yourself, put reminders on your phone, whatever you do for you to make sure that you are on track. Tomorrow should be a great day. Like I said, I'll just go into my regular fasting window. I'll probably spread it out to 4 o'clock if I can, and I don't think that'll be a problem. And so that's how you can create a great fasting window on the weekend. Now, had this weekend been different and we had some social activities and we had some things going on, then it could have been a completely different weekend for myself. And that's fine too, because for me and my family and intermittent fasting, I have been very, very deliberate about making sure that when I fast, my fasting fits into my lifestyle and I'm not readjusting my lifestyle to accommodate intermittent fasting. And so that's another piece of advice I'd like to give to you. If you find that you're struggling, really make sure that you're incorporating a schedule that works with you and that you're not having to bow out of social events or, feel like you're, not able to have time with your family or enjoy the things that you like to enjoy because you're trying to fast. That's no fun. That's like dieting, and we don't want to do that anymore. The other tip that I want to give to you is if you do have some social events on the weekend. So let's say you have a big party. Well, next weekend's my husband's birthday. I'm sure we'll be going out to dinner and celebrating his birthday. And so I will make sure that the night of his birthday that I fast all day. His birthday's on a Saturday, so I'll fast all day on Saturday so that when we go out to dinner Saturday night to celebrate, again, I'll have a complete eating window open and available to me so that when I go out and eat restaurant food, I don't have to worry about what I'm eating, how much I'm eating. The only decisions I'll have to make when I go out to eat are the decisions that I always make when I go out to eat, and that is that I always ask whatever restaurant that we're eating at what type of oil they use to cook their food in, because if it's soybean oil, then I'm very careful and deliberate about what I pick on the menu. And if they don't use soybean oil, then that kind of opens up some stuff for me, and I'll probably have some French fries or something. And I just make sure that the decisions that I make when I go out to eat, or even when I'm eating at home, are based on how whatever it is I'm eating is going to make me look and feel the next day. And that really has helped a lot too with picking foods that I don't have any regrets about, and that will kind of keep me on track with what I'm doing. So again, if you're having some trouble with intermittent fasting, or you feel like you're stuck or you're having a plateau, then you might want to consider, what kind of foods that you're incorporating in your eating window. And if they're not making you feel your best, then it's pretty likely that they're not going to make you look your best. And so if you're stuck on a weight, or you feel like you have too much body fat that you should have if you're fasting, then it's probably what you're eating in your eating window, along with, are you truly incorporating a strong fasting window? So those are my tips for weekends, and what we kind of do on the weekend with fasting. Hey, Nancy, good to see ya. Michael's here. Ingrid's here. Hey, Ingrid. Morris Gallo, hello. Shay, hello. Okay, so any questions about what I just talked about if you're not feeling the effects of a fasting window? That fat adaptation is a very nice feeling, and if you're not feeling it, then you might just be doing a couple things wrong during your fasting window, and those are easy fixes. We go over all of that in my Intermittent for Aging Women fasting group, so if you haven't jumped in yet and you have those kind of questions, that would be a great place for you to be. Again, if you're feeling like you're not getting the results from intermittent fasting and you're really following the fasting protocol the way you should be, then it might be something that you're doing while you're in your eating window. And for women who are feeling like they're having some hormonal issues or they're in that 40 plus age range, things like gluten, soy, dairy, whey protein, all of those things will affect how much body fat you're holding. It will affect how much water you're retaining. It will affect your ability to burn glucose. It will cause you to be insulin resistant. Like, all of those things matter if you are really trying to do something to help you look and feel your best. And so be very aware of that. Get really good at reading those food labels, and then just make sure that you've got a good protocol for your fasting and your eating window, and hopefully some things will turn around for you. It usually takes a couple days for you to notice a difference. If you're feeling bad and you've made some good changes, you should feel them pretty quickly because they're pretty efficient when you make those changes. So look for them and don't discount them as something else. If you're feeling better, it's probably because you made a good choice about what you're doing in your fasting and your eating window. So I hope that helps. If you are interested in joining one of my intermittent fasting for today's Aging Women's group, we are closed out for April. Our April group is up and running, and it is on fire. Women are doing great already, and we just entered into our first week. Registration is up for my May or subsequent month groups, so make sure you get registered if you want a spot. I am guessing that the May group will sell out quickly as well. And there might be some price changes coming up for the summer. So if you want a spot, you can register now, get your spot saved, indicate which month you would like to be in, and then I save you a spot in a future month. Or if you have any questions about the group or how to get started, definitely feel free to leave those in the comments below, and I will make sure that I address them to you personally. And then any other questions that you have, always feel free to leave them. I am always an open book, and I will share any information that I have for you about intermittent fasting or nutrition in general. And if I can't find the answer, I will always make sure that I point you in the right direction where you can find the answer for yourself. So thanks so much for joining me tonight, you guys. I hope you had a great weekend and a great night, and I will see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m.